Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to For the Public Good. We're the show that tries to identify corporations, institutions, and individuals who are doing good and doing it well. Our guests this evening are Ms. Vicky Martinez and Ms. Inday Beroya, both of the Earth Day Network Phil. We're going to start with zero waste and then move on to saving the trees at Blue Ridge. And I'm sure you'll be as interested as I am in what they have to say. Inday and Vicky, thank you so much for being here this evening.
Yes,
I really appreciate you coming. And zero waste, you know, we all see the amount of garbage that's around. And I know that you have some great ideas on how to do something about that. So why don't we just start with you, Vicky?
Yes. First of all, we have to define what zero waste really is. Actually, there is a mistaken notion that zero waste merely involves tinkering of or managing solid waste or waste resources. But actually, zero waste is a philosophy. And it involves a wider spectrum of transformation in the heart, mind, and the soul.
Okay, that's a good philosophy. Okay,
Yes.
What's the basis of the philosophy for zero waste?
Well, everything on earth is biodegradable. Everything is recyclable. I mean, everything is recyclable.
Okay,
Yes.
and you know, we use a lot of things. We're a generation of stuff. We
Yes,
just
yes.
have lots of stuff, you know. And I know that you have a 12-point plan, I think, for
12-point action plan.
bringing about the action plan.
Yes.
And one of the things in there was stuff, I think. But maybe
Yes.
you could kind of outline that. If we go through that one at a time, we'll get a better idea of what we're talking about in the zero waste program.
Yes, but we have to continue with the definition of zero waste.
Okay.
And since it's also an awakening into the deeper realms of creation and spirit. And it is a synergistic passion that seeks to affect peoples and nations to constructive and positive changes for the sake of Mother Earth.
Well, then, how do we do that?
And do you know that?
How do we get that to the people?
You know that waste resource management is just a portion. It is just a component
Well,
of the
course.
zero waste philosophy, together with gardening, permaculture, preservation, conservation, and paradigm shifts, and education, bioethics education, continuing education, self-education. There are so many things that can be done first on a personal level, and then it has to radiate to a higher level, the household level, and then the community level, and the business level, the institutional level, and then the national level, and then later on to the international level.
Okay, we start on the personal level. Maybe we start with our kids, maybe, or do we start with mom and dad, or
Well,
where do
we
we
can
start?
start in my home.
Oh, okay, no, that's great.
In my house, actually, we have succeeded in not giving anything to the garbage collector for the past 3 years.
Nothing.
Yes, nothing.
Yeah.
Now, I'd like to hear about it. Yeah,
that's
Inday,
right.
you got something
What
to mention
she
about
means is that when you say garbage, it's waste.
that? Okay,
But actually, everything is reusable.
right.
As in everything, including the tip of a, when you cut off the tip of a Tetra Pak, you can put it together in some material and they get converted to construction materials. Even plastics, the plastics you pick up from the drain, there are outfits, corporations, that convert them into tabletops by merely heating and compressing.
We actually did a show on waste as a natural resource.
That's right.
and
So,
it certainly could be.
As a philosophy, what Vicky is saying is that because this is a world created by God and we are interconnected, you don't use reusable material and use it to destroy the earth.
Absolutely.
Like plastic, it's supposed to be useful. It's supposed to serve a purpose. You don't use it to clog the drain or to clog the waterways to cause flood.
we do. That's the problem.
That's right. And that's
problem.
the pity of it,
Right.
because these are all resources.
I want to hear more about, Vicky, you said that you haven't
Yes.
thrown anything to the garbage trucks for 3 years.
Yes, sir.
Tell me how you do that.
But we have to be creative in finding ways to seek for proper destinations for each and everything that we use.
Okay.
As long as we don't see and we don't find the proper destination, it stays in the house.
Okay.
Yes.
And what, just, I know,
So-
tell me how you process your plastics.
Well, of course, first with the biodegradable, the organics. Of course, we have to compost it.
Okay, good.
Yes. And then with the plastics, we do total recovery plastics. With the soft plastics, we have to cut open the dirty ones and then soak it in the used laundry soap. And then we have to soak it a little, rub it a little, and then we then rinse it with the used laundry water. And then we dry it under the sun.
Okay.
And then after drying it, we segregate it into soft plastics, plastics with aluminum foil, plastics, what we call the bonded materials, or bonded materials. They're combined. There is plastic there, and then there is aluminum, like the ones used for beverages and used for tomato sauces.
Mm-hmm.
They're
We
called
have
doi packs.
Yes,
Okay.
we have to cut it open, because even if you clean it, after a while you will see that there is mold inside, because the food still stays inside.
That's right.
Okay,
And-
so you're cutting it all open. You're cleaning it.
Yes,
Yeah.
and then we dry it, and then we bundle it after segregating it,
Okay.
and then I sell it back to SM.
So you actually get money for it, right?
That's
you,
right.
You sell
Yes,
it.
for
Or you can
everything.
sell it to the people who come around to the door.
Also,
or you do
you
that
can
as
also
well?
do
with
that.
with the soft plastics, there is some difficulty selling that to the eco people that knock on the door.
Okay.
I have to bring it directly to the factory.
Okay, and here's the point I was gonna ask. You do it because you're dedicated to this. How did we get Joe and Charlie and Mo and Larry and Curly to do it as well? See,
That's right.
That's the hard thing. And one of the guests that I had on the show believes very strongly, and they're doing it in places what he calls the platoon system. It's kind of a military thing where he gets an organization of so many households along a street, and they all find a central place to actually do their own processing.
Yeah.
And they've had some success with that. Have you tried that where
Yes,
you are? Or?
that's the interesting thing. That's what we did in Blue Ridge.
Uh-huh.
And it worked. And because of that, our neighbors actually asked for help for us to teach them.
Well, that's
and
what I was
so that
thinking, you know.
The
That's,
whole neighborhood will do it. And that's why Blue Ridge was the launching point of the Republic Act 9003.
Oh, really? Oh.
There is a law which mandates all municipalities, barangay officials to arrange, to fix, make sure that there's a system for segregation. There must be an ecological waste management, including a material recovery facility for each barangay. And there is even a penal provision for the barangay officials who do not implement it.
But is that implemented?
That's right. There are many barangays that already are facing suit.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but it starts with somebody must complain, and we have done it when we target a community, and if they refuse to do it, then we actually notify the officials.
I see.
Yeah, we have a notice to sue.
And your area, I think, is what you have 400 houses in,
Yes,
in your
in
area.
Ridge.
And I know that you've been really successful at doing
That's
things on your
right,
street,
yeah.
and Vicky has
My community.
done things in her community.
Our community was very successful. We became the cleanest barangay in Quezon City.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
From
Wow.
being from the dirtiest to the cleanest.
Even prior to the advent of Republic Act
Yes,
9003.
yes.
And I like what you said about being the dirtiest to the cleanest.
right, yeah.
I lived most of my adult life in Japan, and up until about 1972, the air there, you could cut it up and make a pie or a cake out of it. I mean, it was really, really bad. And in 1972, they actually had to close down all cars for 24 hours because you couldn't see 30 feet in front of you. If you go to
So much
Tokyo
smoke.
today, it's probably just about the cleanest air of a big city in the world, and it's because they took it very, very seriously, and they did it by making everybody be able to see what was going on. They put up meters that showed how many particles were in the air. They put up things to show how much noise there was. They put big restrictions on cars. Unfortunately, the cars that didn't make it there, they sent here, which was not so good.
Yeah,
and
it was
that's one of the sad
imported.
things that
Yeah,
happened.
and they were imported by the family of a
the
very
people that threw them
powerful,
away, you know.
powerful
And so-
family.
What is important is education also, and
Good,
self-education and enforcement of laws.